This week, we're heading to one of my favorite whitetail destinations, North Dakota. I'm going to be hunting with my good buddy and rancher, Scott Wolff. The Wolff Ranch is comprised of thousands of acres of rolling prairie and cottonwood drainages that whitetails just love to, gravitate through these cottonwood drainages and stuff. So it makes for some great bow hunting. And over the years, North Dakota and Scott Wolff and the Wolff Ranch has, been very good to me. I've been very successful out there. Well, I'm here in North Dakota, putting together all my gear for the upcoming hunt. Once again, the SKB got my bow and equipment here in fine shape, so putting everything together, like I said, gonna go out and fling a few arrows. I'm kind of excited to be here this year, more so than usual. I'm calling this the Revenge Tour. Reason? Last year, almost a year to the date when we were here, I had a close encounter with a big 8-point, and he faced me, never given me a shot, walked right by us, never given me a shot. Then to add a little salt to the wound. A little bit later, the day or so, he did the same thing to me. Then the weather changed, never had an opportunity to get back there and hunt him. So this year, I'm keyed up. I'm going to concentrate on that buck, and hopefully, with a little bit of lady luck, he'll walk by us and I'll complete, as I said, my revenge tour. Only time will tell. First afternoon in North Dakota, I'm gunned up. I'm excited to get out there. So in short order, shoot my bow a little bit, Scott grabs us, and we take the ATV and we cruise out to the shadow hunter blind.
My chauffeur's here, off to the hunt.
Scott, exclusively uses shadow hunter blinds because they're so effective as far as holding in your scent and keeping, the whitetail's prying eyes from spotting you. And some of the spots, the trees aren't that big, or there isn't a good cover tree, so you can be in the shadow hunter blinds and not be seen. The other thing that Scott does that I really like and is smart is that every day on the ranch, he's out in his ATVs, checking on cattle, mending fences, etc. There's always something to be done. And the deer are very accustomed to seeing Scott and his brother out about, again, cruising around in these ATVs. So when we go out hunting, Scott loads us up and we go out with the ATV, we pull right up to the shadow hunter blind. We either can get right in, close the door, or I can get out and freely, put my VS1 out, hang a stink stick, whatever needs to be done, get settled in. My cameraman gets his tripod out, hooks it all up, gives Scott the thumbs up, then he motors away. The deer, again, very used to it. The ATV doesn't bother them. And of course, with Scott leaving, they think everything's safe, and then they'll get up and you'll have earlier deer movement. It just works out so much better, and we spook a lot less deer by doing this. It wasn't long after Scott pulled away, we started seeing deer. As I watched several doe making their way in, I looked up and here came a nice buck. He wasn't the big 8 that I had my heart set on at this point, but believe me, I had to give him a hard look. Even though this is the post-rut time of year and the actual rut, was basically over, bucks were acting a bit frisky. They were still checking out everything, going around, smelling everything and such, and that's the reason we put the VS1 out. They were going around checking, and they were making sure that all the does, seeing if this one was in heat or not, and they were paying attention to the scent we put out. As you can tell by looking at this buck's face, he wasn't afraid to mix it up a bit. And apparently, he'd taken a few licks during the whitetail rut.